We're back here on the Mid-Michigan Pet Expert Talk Show, and in this segment, Rick, we've got with us a very interesting lady from the Golden Retriever Rescue Resource, or GRR, as it's called. We have the Vice President, Rachel Roach, on the phone with us. Welcome to the show, Rachel.
Thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you. Rachel, before we started, we were talking, and I mentioned to you that one of my associates has a Golden, and he asked the question, what the heck do we need a rescue group for Goldens? Because everyone should just want one. So why are you necessary?
Well, exactly. That was my thought as well before I got involved with the rescue. I had no idea. I actually bought my first Golden from a breeder as well, and that's when I figured out why dogs end up in rescue. Goldens are great dogs. They do have a great personality. They're very, very similar to Labrador Retrievers. Their hair is longer, but they are very hyper dogs, and they take just as much training and work with time as any other breed of dog. They're no different. They take the same amount of training and time and energy and everything that any breed would go through, just because they've got the reputation of the perfect family dog, and they do eventually turn into that dog. However, you have to spend the time to make them that perfect dog.
Rachel, when it comes to working with Goldens, are there any requirements for the proper environment to keep them in? I mean, are they very in need of a lot of exercise and a lot of space and a fenced-in yard, or can they live in apartments? I mean, help me understand what is the ideal environment and what is the, I guess, minimally acceptable environment for keeping a Golden?
Well, and what we look for, too, within our rescue, we have quite a process. We have people fill out probably a 6 or 7 page application telling us about them, where they live, what kind of exercise they're going to provide the dog, that type of thing. And what we're looking for a Golden is Goldens really do just want to be with you. They're giant lap dogs, in a sense. I mean, they really want to be where you are. They don't want to spend a lot of time outside alone. But on the other hand, they do require a walk every day just to keep them busy, especially when they're younger. A nice long walk or a yard to play ball in, that type of thing is ideal for a Golden, because they do, up until they're puppies till they're about 2 years old. So they do require quite a bit of exercise and maintenance. They have a lot of long hair. They need to be groomed every so often, just to keep them looking pretty.
And how do when you do interviews, how often are they surprised in the needs and don't meet up to those expectations?
Most people that we have come to rescue have had a Golden before.
Gotcha.
We do get the few people that are looking for a Golden because they are the perfect home, and we just try to evaluate the homes, to match up with the dog. We want, a family with younger kids. We don't want to place a rescue dog that we got from a shelter that we have no idea about in a home with younger children. We'd prefer to get a dog that we have a lot of owner surrenders coming in just due to the economy, and people are forced because of losing jobs and different things like that. They can't afford the necessary care, but if they can tell us about the dog, and yes, the dog has lived with children, or no, it hasn't, that helps us a lot when we get that background. So that helps us place the dog into the appropriate environment as well.
Rachel, when you mentioned before that they just want to be with you, I guess I would ask you, if you were to take them to a dog park, are Goldens the kind of dogs that will just play and run around with other dogs, or are they the type that will watch the other dogs running around and playing and say, that's fine for them, but I still want you to play with me?
That's funny, because I actually have 4 dogs at my house, 4 Goldens. Well, 3 are purebred and one's a Golden Lab mix, and they are very social at the dog park, although I have one that would prefer the people. She runs up to everybody and wants to be pet, while the other dogs will play fetch, swim, run with all the other dogs. They're very social. And then again, with the rescue dogs, I call them a different population of Goldens, because we don't always know what they've been through.
Right.
So that's one of the nice things about a rescue program, is that we bring the dogs in and we try to place them in a foster home, so that we get to know the dog before we place the dog into its forever home.
And when you get these dogs, they come from...
We get them from various places. A lot of shelters will work straight with a rescue because they have so many dogs.
Sure.
If they can get a breed rescue to work with, a lot of times they will let us take the dog, and we'll pay them a pull fee or whatever to cover their cost of getting, if the dogs come vaccinated or spayed or neutered. And so, then they can give us limited information. We get owner surrenders, as I mentioned, due to the economy, and sometimes people are forced to move to an apartment, and they know they can't really keep a golden in an apartment. There's just not enough room there to give the dog what it needs.
How do they find you?
We have a website, which is www.gr-rescue.org. And then Cindy Laws, who's our president and founder, and she's actually in the Toledo area, she's been doing this since 2003, so she's made a ton of contacts. And then just with each person you work with, then, you build relationships that way, and that's a lot of the ways we'll get referred to.
Rachel, I would imagine that there's got to be some costs involved with a lot of the animals that you're rescuing in terms of vet bills and food and maintenance. How do you guys go about raising your funds, and do you have any fundraisers coming up?
Actually, yes. If you visit our website, which is www.gr-rescue.org, you'll see we do have Golfing for Golden's golf outing coming up. It is in the Toledo area in August. We're building up to getting some events going in the Battle Creek area, but because we're pretty new, I've only been doing this a couple years in the Battle Creek area, so we're pretty new to this area. A lot of our fundraisers take place in Toledo. We have had a Bow Wow Walk, which is our annual dog walk, 2 years in a row. And then we just do various, small fundraisers as we can throughout the year.
Okay.
And I guess for the listening audience, Battle Creek sounds a distance, but you're our closest golden retriever rescue. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. And our dogs, we have a vet that works with us here in Battle Creek that gives us a slight discount. And here's another thing: when you go to a rescue versus a shelter, we don't have the resources that a shelter has as far as a lot of the vaccinations they give themselves. They can get spay neuter at a great discount. We do get a slight discount. Our dogs cost $275 each to adopt, but that includes a spay and neuter, all their vaccinations, and a microchip, and that's a flat fee. So each dog is the same amount no matter what we've got into the dog. And we don't have enough foster homes, so we have to board some dogs to avoid the alternative of them going down in a shelter, and that costs us per dog per day. So that's why our adoption fees, they seem competitive with all other rescues, but that's why rescue fees are a bit higher than your local shelters.
Rachel, if someone were interested in becoming a foster home, would they just go contact you about that?
Yes. On our website, we have a link that says foster. Okay. And you can click on that link, and it explains to you what fostering is, which is where you take the dog into your home and you feed the dog, but we provide all the medical. We pay for any medical expense the dog may have. But this way, you kind of evaluate the dog. We find out, does the dog get along with other dogs? Does it get along with cats? That type of thing. And then that kind of helps us match the dogs up with their forever homes.
Well, Rachel, it's awesome having you on the show, but it can't be done without giving us a grr. You got to give us a grr.
Grr.
We've been talking this morning with Rachel Roach, the Vice President from the Golden Retriever Rescue Resource. Thank you for being on the show, Rachel. We really appreciate it.